Let's just say you bought a new 2025 BMW M5 and you think that twin turbo V8 is just a little too quiet. What do? Well, you put on an aftermarket exhaust system. So today we are at GT House with this new G90 M5 and it has their Meisterschaft exhaust system. There are two available, a valved and non-valve system. This one has the vacuum actuated valves. It's a stainless steel catback system that should make it sound a bit better. Now in factory form, the M5 is pretty potent. It has a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, the S68. The engine alone makes 577 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque, but it is now a plug-in hybrid. So total system output is a rather staggering 717 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. So it definitely should be pretty quick. We all know it is very, very heavy. Today is my first time getting to try out the new G90 M5. It'll be a quick initial impressions of this, but also finding out what it sounds like and feels like with an exhaust. So with the exhaust, it will save a bit of weight because the new system is lighter than the factory heavier mufflers and things like that. This is a catback system, but they're also expecting an increase in power, about 48 wheel horsepower. This vehicle has been on the dyno and was putting down some pretty impressive numbers. So today we'll be taking it for a quick spin, seeing what it's like, what it sounds like, sharing that with you guys. We'll do cold start, some revs, some exterior shots, and I'm excited to get some wheel time in the new M5. Welcome sequence there. Sunroof just opened up too. That's pretty cool. I've got a mic on the back for the exhaust. We'll have a mic inside. And start her up. It is on in all electric mode. M2, confirm. Ooh, engine fires up. Everything is warm, so let's give it some revs. All right, let's try comfort mode for everything. This is essentially daily driver mode for the new M5. We're in all electric mode right now. Still showing 15 miles of range, right about half charge, so you can plug this in and charge it. This is interesting. It's not silent. I hear a little bit of like, I don't know if it's a generated noise. And you can definitely hear road and tire noise. Some of those impacts are being transmitted through, but we don't have that much time with this car right now, so forget that. Let's go into M2. Engine fires up. We're in 5th gear. Let's do downshift, 4th. Holy crap. I gotta say, even with the exhaust, this thing feels very isolated. I can hear a V8 rumble, but it is absolutely not pronounced at all. From the outside, it's louder than from the inside. There's just probably so much sound deadening. There is some of the amplification through the speakers. You can hear that. It's just a little bit augmented, but BMW and many manufacturers have been doing that for quite a long time. It does play into the more luxury cruiser personality of this thing, and it's just an absolute beast in terms of power. That is a little bit alarmingly quick in a straight line. We're in Chicago right now in the suburbs, and there are no fun roads to really take this thing on. No curvy roads, so we're really just seeing what this thing feels like in a straight line. The 8-speed automatic gives pretty quick shifts. It's a ZF Source 8-speed auto, and they put the electric motor in the transmission. So you get a little bit of a torque multiplier effect too. So it is a hybridization similar to the XM label and some of these other plug-in high performance ones. It is all-wheel drive, fully variable torque split with the MX drive. It has a full rear-wheel drive drift mode, which we can go into somewhere. X drive, yep, there's two-wheel drive right there. There are so many different things you can configure with the drive modes. We can change drivetrain, energy recovery, drive logic, chassis, steering, brake, MX drive, M sound. So if you multiply out all of these different combinations, you're left with probably almost 2,000 different configurations. Luckily, if that's very confusing, you have your M1, M2 buttons that you can just pre-program. This one doesn't have the upgraded drivers package, so that would bring you the boost function too and the higher top speed. So this one is limited to just 155 miles an hour, which is kind of more than plenty unless you have the Autobahn available. Whoa! So in a straight line, at least, the fun factor of the new M5 has not been diminished. The power to weight ratio technically got a little bit worse, but at no point have I ever felt like this is not quick enough. Holy crap. And honestly, this makes me think that we might be reaching a plateau point of just the performance. There's trade-offs now, right? Because EVs are the way to get the absolute quickest acceleration. You want the fastest 0 to 60, the fastest quarter mile time. You're going to end up in a Tesla Plaid or a Taycan Turbo GT, or heck, even like a Rivian quad motor, right? It's going to be insanely quick accelerating, faster than this thing. But if you still want to have the gas powertrain, you're going to reach a limit, and the trade-off with this thing is because they wanted to keep the V8, but they needed to add some amount of hybridization to meet regulations and having some amount of electric driving range, it ends up being heavier, which means it can't be that much faster. So there's these trade-offs right now. So we may be hitting a plateau of gas-powered sedan acceleration and SUV acceleration unless they go heavier electrification, but then again, weight, and it hurts handling. So they're all trade-offs right now. Super quick initial impressions of this M5. It does feel a bit more numb and isolated, but at the same time, the capabilities are going to be so high that most people are never going to actually exploit them. Does it feel as sporty as the previous generations? No, absolutely not. In the couple turns I've taken, it doesn't feel like the M5 CS, which to me was one of the pinnacles of the BMW M5. I love the previous generation M5 CS. This is like maybe this would be what an M7 feels like. All right, let me shut up and do some noise generation. I think they did a really good job upgrading the electric motor integration calibration compared to the XM label. I was not a big fan of the XM label. This feels actually much smoother. If you didn't know it had electric motor, you could just think it's just a stupendously powerful twin turbo V8, like they just added even bigger turbos onto it. It just pretty seamlessly pulls, especially once you're moving. My goodness. Yeah, that's irresponsibly quick. Wow. I'll have to wait till I get to spend a bit more time with these to have more thoughts on the driving dynamics, what it's like to live with. Definitely want to spend a week with one of these things. The new M5. Wow. All right, I'm gonna flip a U-turn. I'm gonna roll the windows down and make a little bit of noise one more time before we give the keys back to the guys at GT House. I'm like short shifting. Whew. Oh, I hear a little bit of turbos, and then exhaust wakes it up just a bit. Now, if you want even more noise and power, right, downpipes, high flow cats, this is simply a catback valved exhaust system. But wow indeed. I think the new M5 may have been a little bit unfairly hated. I made jokes about it too, about all the things that it was heavier than, but the BMW M engineers certainly still knew how to make this thing pretty ridiculous. Holy crap. Well, that was definitely quite a bit of fun. Initial impressions of the G90 M5. Yes, it is heavier, you can feel it, but it doesn't feel that much heavier than the RS7, for example, which the curb weight of the RS7, RS6 is just under 5,000 pounds. This is at 5,400 pounds. When you compare it to the previous generation F90, yes, it did get quite a lot heavier, but that power increase is ridiculous. And I'm not exactly sure why the M5 has gotten so much flack for the curb weight when the Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid has essentially the same weight, a similar powertrain formula, power levels are similar. Somehow the Porsche is a little bit quicker. They say 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. This BMW says is 3.4 seconds. And I know per the BMW rating, their claim time, this is slightly slower than the F90 generation. That is not the greatest look, but once you're in the real world, rolling on the road, mid-corner, planning it across the power band, it's pretty ridiculous. The exhaust has woken it up a little bit. I know factory cars are getting quieter and quieter due to all these various regulations. So this simple catback exhaust with valves wakes it up a bit. From the outside, you can hear the V8 rumble. The revs sounded good. The flyby sounded good. On the road, when you're in the car driving, honestly, it's still so insulated. It's not the fault of the exhaust per se. I think it's just the way these cars are set up now because it's still a luxury M5, right? It has to be the BMW luxury experience with the performance. Still feels pretty muted. If you want more noise, want more turbo spool, you'll probably want to do a downpipe with maybe high flow cats or something like that. But this was really cool getting to check out the all-new G90 M5. I certainly need to find a way to grab one and spend some more time with and live with it. Ideally somewhere with some curvy roads so we can see, does that added heft make it that much worse? I want to find out, but holy crap, is that stupendously quick. Super thank you to the guys at GT House. If you want an exhaust for your M5, check them out. It does sound good in person for sure. It opens up that 4.4 twin turbo V8. Thanks for watching.